Hey dolls, so I told you that I was going to be doing 2 tags today, so if you saw me in my Christmas tag video wearing this get up and stuff, yeah, this video is pre-filmed. But anyway, I'm going to be doing the my first time tag today, and I know what you're thinking. If you haven't seen this video already floating around YouTube, it's not something sexual. So don't feel like you have to close out of this video or anything like that. It's nothing like that, but we're going to go ahead and get on into this. I'm not sure if these are the exact questions that everyone uses, but I found this on a little blog post and these questions seemed legit to me. So, it's basically just a list of 21 questions where you just say what your firsts were. Like each question is like, what's your first kiss? What's your first job? Stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and go through that. So number 1, first YouTube video you ever watched. Ooh my goodness. The first YouTube video I ever watched was probably one that had to do with water marbling your nails. If you guys don't know what water marbling is, feel free to look it up. There are so many tutorials, it's crazy, but I was really big into nail art and stuff when I was in middle school and high school, and I wanted to do my nails really cool, so I got onto YouTube, and I can't remember if it was a nail tutorial that I watched first and then the water marbling popped up and I thought it looked cool as a suggestion or whatever. But the water marbling, that is like the first that I remember of watching the videos. Number 2, first person you subscribed to on YouTube, Petrie Lude. Petrie Lude is awesome. Totally love him. Okay, let's see. Do you still talk to your first love? No, I do not. Number 4, first kiss. That was my first love. I was 13. And it happened right here in my room. I don't know if that's weird, but yeah. First alcoholic drink. Never had one. I've never sipped alcohol, never tasted alcohol. If you guys want to know why, go ahead and check out my vlog channel. I made a vlog about, it's titled I Don't Drink, and I go into detail about why I don't drink and stuff like that. My vlog channel is just right here, Daily Doll 31409. Let's see, first car. I actually don't drive. There's a reason behind why I don't drive, and I kind of don't want to talk about it, but plus that would make this a super long video, and I don't want to do that. My videos are already crazy long, and people complain about them, so I'm not going to make them longer. But I did take driver's ed when I was 15 or 16, and I passed with an A, but I just never went and got my license. I never took the driver's test or anything to get my license. I just didn't want to. Again, just personal reasons I don't want to talk about. But I did have a car, and it was a 1992 Buick Regal, I believe. My mom got it for me, but I never drove it. That car literally sat in our driveway. The car was like $900 or $800 or something like that. It was a really good car. My brother ended up buying it from my mom, and he used it for a while, for a few years actually, but it actually pooped out on him recently, so he had to get a new car. But and then my mom got me we got a good deal on a Chevy Silverado. I believe it was a 1990 Chevy Silverado pickup, and we got that from a family friend, but again, I just didn't want to drive. I didn't have the want to, and I didn't have my license and stuff, and I was just like, I don't want to drive. And so we sold that truck for what we bought it for, or more than that, I believe. But anyway, with that being said, I don't drive, but I've owned 2 vehicles. Does that make sense? That's weird. I personally don't believe in that. I honestly had no say in my mom buying my car and my truck. She just showed up with it one day, and I was like, Mom, I don't want to be rude or anything, but I mean, I just don't want to drive. Like, I just don't want to. And she didn't have any problem with that. She's like, oh, it's okay. I completely, totally understand. She drove the car around a couple times, but yeah, we ended up selling them. Let's see. First pet. My very first pet was a dog named Bea, and it was B-E-A, because we were going to name her BJ, because I totally was obsessed with Barney. I was like 3 or 4, maybe even 2 when we got her, but I was obsessed with Barney. Barney was my #1 childhood show when I was a little baby, and I was obsessed with Barney. And you guys know the yellow dinosaur BJ? Well, I wanted to name her BJ. I don't know why. I have no idea, but I couldn't say BJ because I was so little. So I said Bea, Bia, 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 like that, right? And so her name became Bia, and she lived to be 13 or 14 years old, and she died of old age, but she was such a good, sweet, sweet, sweet black lab dog. I loved her so much. And then I got Rebel about it'll be 3 years ago in June, but yeah, he's like 2.5 years old now. First celebrity crush, Aaron Carter. First real boyfriend, that was my first love. I'm not going to name names because I don't know if they watch my videos. That would be really weird if they watch my videos, but it started with a T. That's all I'm going to say. Let's see here. Who was the first person who was the first person to text you today? The only person I text is my boyfriend. As far as getting notifications and stuff like that, I messaged Missy on Facebook, so I guess she texted me first, but I texted her first. So I don't know if that counts. Let's see here. Who was your first grade teacher? Again, I don't know if they want names said because it'd be weird, but her name was Miss Brooke, and she was awesome. And the year after I got out of her class, she ended up leaving the school. I don't know if she went and taught at a different school or what, but she was really super sweet. She was totally awesome. She used to host this thing called Super Summer Science Camp, and we could go for like, I think it was like 2 weeks out of the summer, or maybe it was 3 or something like that, and we'd go and just do like all these science projects. And the one thing I remember doing about this one science project is we had this huge hula hoop, and we had one of those plastic pools of like bubbles and water in it, and then you would take the hula hoop and shake it around in the bubbles and then pull it up, and you would stand in the center of the hula hoop, and when you pulled it up you'd be inside the bubble that would come up. Oh my gosh, it was so cool. That was my favorite thing ever about Super Summer Science Camp. Anyway, it was really fun. Let's see. Where was your first sleepover? Ooh, my first sleepover would probably have to be at this girl named Abby's house. I think. That was when I was really little. Unless we're talking about like family or something like that, because I stayed the night at my aunts and uncles and grandparents and stuff all the time when we would go out of town and stuff. So, but as far as like staying over at friends' and stuff, yeah, I think it was this girl who used to be a good, she was kind of a friend, but then again, she kind of wasn't. I don't know. But I would stay at her house sometimes, occasionally. What is the first thing you did this morning? Roll over and grab my phone and check all my social media. The first thing I do every morning. First concert you ever went to? Dolly Parton. And that was when my dad was still around. First broken bone. I've never had a broken bone, actually. First movie you remember seeing? The Lion King. That was the first movie I ever went to in theaters, and I actually remember it. Like, I remember being in like the 3rd row or something like that, and the movie theater was like, instead of it being black on the sides and stuff, I slightly remember it being like white and like very like statuesque. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but it was weird. Like, I totally remember it. First sport you were involved in? I was on dance team in 5th grade. First tweet. Oh my gosh, I totally do not know my first tweet. I think it was, so I finally broke down and made a Twitter, follow me, or something like that. I think that's what my first tweet was. First Facebook profile pic. Oh my gosh, it was a picture of me, and I was blonde, and I'm totally gonna find it, and I'll insert it right here. And then the last question is first piercing. My ears, my first hole in my ears I got done when I was like 6 months old or something like that. And then people always ask me how many piercings I have, how many tattoos I have, and stuff like that. That's actually the end of the question. So I'm going to talk just a little second about my tattoos and piercings, just so I can kind of answer the question for you guys. I have, my big hole is actually stretched to a 00. And then I actually have a second hole, but I never wear earrings in those anymore. I got those pierced when I turned 15, 14 or 15 or something like that. And then I have my cartilage up here that is actually gauged or stretched at, it's a 16 gauge, I believe. So I have 00 right here and a 16 right here. I believe it's a 16. It might be, no, you know what, it might be a 14. It's one of the two. I can't remember. I always get 14 and 16 mixed up. And then I had my belly button pierced at one point, but my body rejected it and it didn't work out. One day when I was clipping Rebel's toenails, he like jumped and his nail kind of ripped it out and it bled really, really bad, and then my body just kind of rejected it, like it just kind of pushed it out. And that actually also happened to one of my friends. Same thing happened to her. I've heard of several people who have had that happen too. Like their skin is just a little too tight right there, so it just doesn't want to stay in. But anyway, there's that. And then I actually pierced my nose myself one time when I was little. I pierced it with a safety pin, which I don't recommend doing. If you're going to get a piercing, go get it done somewhere and obviously have parental consent. But I left it in for a day and then I took it out because I was just like, you know, I don't look good with nose piercing. So I took that out. And I used to wear fake snake bites all the time when I was a site model on MySpace. And as for my tattoos, I have a heart behind my right ear, and then I also have a Hello Kitty head on my left hip bone. There are reasons behind both of my tattoos, but that's a whole different video. If you guys want to see a tattoo and piercing video, go ahead and comment below and let me know. And yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this video. So I'm going to leave all of the questions in the description box below. So if you want to do this tag, feel free to. And go ahead, because since you can't post video responses anymore, go ahead and tweet me your videos at Amanda31409 and hashtag HeyDolls my first time, or MFT. So Hey Dolls MFT, hashtag Hey Dolls MFT, so it stands for Hey Dolls my first time. And with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and go, and I will talk to you all in my next video. So until then, so long, stay strong, stay true, and be you.